For the past 7 years, I have been an interviewer for one of the top 3 MBA programs in the world. And in this video, I'm going to share the 6 key areas with you that you're being assessed against in any MBA interview. I'll talk through each of them and give you some examples of the types of questions that I ask as I explore each skill set. So let's get started. How's it going, folks? My name's Marcus, and I'm head of product at a $70 billion tech company based here in Silicon Valley. And on this channel, I share things that I've learned and explore a way to help us live balanced, productive, and happier lives. The MBA interview can be an ominous dark cloud on the horizon for applicants, as it's the final hurdle that you need to overcome to get into your dream program. During my time interviewing for London Business School, I have reviewed countless application essays and met some of the most high potential 20-something-year-olds in the world. Maybe you've already sat your GMAT or GRE exam, written your essays, applied to business school, and are preparing for your interviews. Or maybe you're just interested in what all the fuss is about and want to know what an MBA interview involves. I'm going to talk through a typical MBA interview now and call out some of the answers to questions in each categories that really stand out. So let's get stuck in. So by the time you get to the interview stage, your application has typically been reviewed by at least 2 people in the MBA admissions team. As an interviewer, I am sent the candidate's full application, which includes a series of essays they've written to apply, their references from the nominators, and most importantly, notes from the admissions office on the areas to explore in the MBA interview. Before the candidate ever gets in the room for the interview, I've read their essays, I know their academic background, work experience, and where to dig in a little bit deeper in the interview. These interviews typically last anywhere from 60 to 120 minutes, which might seem like an exhausting amount of time for a candidate, but for the interviewer, there's a lot to explore in this very limited time. So let's walk through what to expect and how to nail it. As I interview a candidate, I'll be exploring their strengths and weaknesses in these 8 key categories. 1. Experience, impact, and leadership. 2. Structured, analytical, and strategic thinking. 3. Teamwork. 4. Communication skills. 5. Interest in MBA programs specifically. And 6. Motivation and career aspirations. Let's break these down into the types of questions that you might be asked and how to nail your answer. 1. Experience, achievements, impact, and leadership. I always open the interview by asking applicants to give me their quick overview of their CV, which is a typical icebreaker. It's a great start as it gives them time to settle into the interview and overcome any nerves with what should be a softball and some content that they know really well. Remember, I'll have already reviewed the candidate's application in detail, and I have their CV in front of me in addition to the notes on their CV from the admissions office. What I'm looking for here is to better understand their experience and achievements in their own words. So I'll sometimes have some prepared follow-up questions to fill in any gaps that might be in the CV, but more often than not, I'll be digging into areas and asking focused questions on the fly in the interview. Don't overthink this part of the interview. If you're interviewing, you've likely already impressed the admissions office enough with your experience and achievements. Be concise, be prepared, be practiced, and structured in your response, and you'll be fine. If you're really looking for a great framework to use to run through your CV, I'll have a video linked at the end of this one to help you through that one. Some typical sample questions here might be, give me an example of a time where you achieved something that others thought were out of reach. Or, when you were working at X company, tell me about your typical day. Or, what was the greatest achievement in your career to date? These are all things that you should have prepared, and they should be very easy for you to answer. Let's move on to 2. Structured, analytical, and strategic thinking. Once we've gone through the candidate's CV and explored their experience and achievements, it's a good opportunity to dig a little deeper on their knowledge of their industry. How much thought have they put into what they are doing and the future holds for their company? The program office tries to pair applicants with interviewers from same or similar industries or backgrounds, but I'm not looking for a single correct answer to my questions here. I'm trying to assess if this person can think strategically and be analytical about problems. Some typical sample questions here might be, what are your current company's greatest weaknesses when you think about the future of their business? Or if you're trying to disrupt your industry, where would you start? What are the unfair advantages that your company leverages today to be successful? Again, no right answers. I'm looking for structure and the ability to think strategically. And this is absolutely something that's easy to prepare for. You can just read journals or articles, make sure that you're fully researched on what's happening in your specific industry. They don't even need to be your point of views. You don't even need to fully wholeheartedly agree with them, but just being aware of the competition and the landscape that your company is in, I think it just shows in the interview, and again, it shouldn't be hard to be ready for those questions. 3. Teamwork. As much as people would like to think that MBAs are alphas or unable to work on a team, it's actually a key part of identifying future success in a candidate. In the first few weeks of an MBA program, it's drilled into you that what got you here won't get you there. Meaning the hard work and the solar effort that you did as an individual contributor in the past won't scale to get you to the next level in your career managing people. What I'm looking for here is, does this person work well with others? Do they recognize the importance of teamwork? Can they scale? Some candidates will have managed a team of people at this point, and others will not, and they won't have made that transition yet. And that's okay. Pull from your experience in sports or other work-related experiences. The key here is showing you know the importance of teamwork and that you're a great team player. Even if you've led a team, I'd encourage you at this point in talking about the team dynamics to focus not on leading the team in your answers, but more on the opportunities of how you grew a team or how you worked with a team to make that team better. Some typical questions here might be, give me an example of when you were on a really successful team. What was it about the team dynamic that made it so successful? Tell me about a time when there was conflict within a team and how you resolved it. Good answers here not only clearly articulate what made teams successful, but also show insight into how leadership, diversity, and team dynamics played important roles. Great answers, additionally, call out that the candidate learned from being in that team and what they would bring to their next team as a result. Number 4, communication skills. Assessing someone's communication skills happens from the very beginning of the interview and is part of the reason I open the interview with a CV run-through. Not only to make the candidate comfortable, but to listen to a set piece that should be well thought through content. Throughout the interview I'm thinking, is the person a clear communicator? Are they structured in their arguments and answers? And often most importantly, are they concise? I typically don't ask communication questions as they're pretty clear in the interview. The LBS interview includes a mini case study at the end where I present a candidate a short 3 or 4 line statement and they get 5 minutes to prepare their argument for or against, and then have 5 minutes to present their argument to me. I think it's a really great way to test so many things in such a short time, including structured thinking and handling pressure. But really, what I'm really looking here is how strong is their communication style. I'll be doing a short video on that, how to crack that case part of the interview, if you're interested in that, so let me know in the comments below. Number 5, interest in MBA programs specifically. So you'd be surprised how frequently candidates do poorly on why are they interested in doing an MBA. By the time they get to the interview, they have typically spent anywhere from 3 months to a year getting their application ready, but they still struggle very often with why they want to do an MBA type question. So make sure you're prepared for these 3 questions with a well thought through answer. 1. Why do you want to do an MBA? 2. Why do you want to do it now? What do you hope to achieve? And 3, and most importantly, why do you want to do your MBA at X business school? Let's take London Business School as an example here. So a weak answer might solely focus on LBS's rankings as a top business school and that London is a vibrant city with lots on offer. While these are true and part of the answer, I think that a great answer here shows that a student has researched the school well, knows where the school's strengths and most importantly, are able to articulate themselves where would they be involved in the program to help better others. So let me give you an example of that. What does that sound like? It might be, I want to do my MBA at London Business School because, putting aside for a minute that it's a well-renowned program and it's in the heart of London, I want to take Professor Richard Jolly's class on Paths to Power as it'll help me navigate my career in X organisation and future. I want to take a leadership role on the LBS Tech Club and lead a trek to Ireland to visit all the European tech hubs. Someone with this answer really stands out from the rest. It shows that they've researched the school, they know which classes they want to take, and they know how they want to contribute to the school to make it better. These are the standout answers. Number 6, motivation and career plans. What I'm looking for here is passion, drive, and self-belief in the future career plans of the candidate. One of the things business schools do well is take already successful people, polish them up a bit, and launch them onto their next mission. So in this part of the interview, taking the time to explain why you're passionate about your future career and that you've thought through it, what you want to do to be successful, it really needs to shine through. Listen out for questions like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or, talk me through the steps that you need to take after the MBA to be successful in your chosen career. Or even, how might the MBA help you with your plans? Also, one that I was asked in my interview, which threw me a little, was, what will you do if you don't get into an MBA program? What the interviewer wanted here was to see if my passion for what I wanted to do was stronger than my reliance on an MBA to get there. If you'd like to go a little deeper on the MBA interview in terms of frameworks you can use, I've got a link here to a framework for running through your CV, or if you want a framework to help you nail the MBA case study, you can click this link here. See you in the next one. Good luck.